soldier is now released from the hospital after a stray bullet hits him in the head. Fortunately, the soldier was wearing a Kevlar helmet at the time. The shooting happened at around 11:30 this morning at Fort Sill. Fort Sill did not release the name of the soldier, but did say that he was training and the bullet came from an adjacent training ground. This incident is under investigation. Animal rescue groups in Logan County are looking for whoever dumped a group of puppies in a field near Guthrie. The puppies were found malnourished and one is now dead. Fox 25's Will Metzold reports on how one group is now taking them in.
Vaughn Coburn says something like this isn't acceptable in their town. As president of Friends of Guthrie Animals, she helped rescue several of the puppies that were found alone in a field on Thanksgiving. It's the kind of call Vaughn Coburn dreads, and she got it on Thanksgiving.
I got another call and said there's 12 puppies out here on Bacchus Road, and I went, dang it.
As the president of the Friends of Guthrie Animals Rescue and Support Group, she will typically respond to dogs that have been found. The calls about the dogs near Industrial and Bacchus Roads outside of Guthrie began on Thanksgiving and eventually turned into 12 puppies being rescued.
We were on the scene for about 2 hours. We did the best that we could. Several of my people got injured, and so we had to pull back.
Coburn and her team came out on Friday to rescue 5 puppies. Those are now together with 7 others rescued since Thanksgiving at the Guthrie Pet Hospital.
It is amazing to me why somebody would dump defenseless puppies on the side of the road. It kills my heart.
The Logan County Sheriff's Office also helped with the rescue of the dogs. They're part of the investigation to find out who is responsible.
Our main case is going to be around the abandonment of dogs upon a public roadway. That's our base charge that we're looking at. We would go as far as animal cruelty for all the dogs in the condition that they're in.
The Friends of Guthrie Animals is putting up a $1,000 reward for whoever can lead them to a suspect. Anyone with information can remain anonymous.
If you have all these puppies and you don't want them anymore, you could have called me on the phone and I would have came and got them, or you could have taken them to the Guthrie Animal Shelter.
They have all kinds of skin disease and skin issues. They're in pain out there. These dogs would have died. It is heartbreaking to see them in that condition.
Coburn says she's hoping to get as many of these dogs adopted as possible. So far, 4 have already found new homes. In Guthrie, Will Metzold, Fox 25 News.
The rescuers say the dogs are Chihuahuas, Chihuahua mixes, and miniature Australian Shepherds. Now, if you know anything about who dumped these dogs, you can call the Logan County Sheriff's Office. Around Oklahoma, the kindness of strangers helps a family in need after a devastating Thanksgiving. Henrietta Police Officer Theron Richards and his family lost everything in a house fire on Thanksgiving Day. Richards, his wife, and their 5 kids are feeling the love now from their community as friends and strangers donate items to help the family. Now, if you want to donate, you can do so at the Henrietta or Okmulgee Police Departments. An Oklahoma sheriff continues to fight for funding after his latest grant request is denied. Pushmataha County Sheriff B.J. Hedgecock has been applying for several grants this year, and a grant would help the department hire a deputy to work specifically on cases involving sexual assault and domestic violence. A rare sight, the Oklahoma City Animal Welfare Shelter is empty for now. This video from their Facebook page. All the animals were able to find their forever homes today, nearly 200 of them, during the shelter's Black Saturday event. All adoption fees were waived and people lined up outside the shelter for a chance to adopt a companion. A former police chief pleads not guilty after being accused of rape. According to court records, Brian Gordon is being accused of taking a 33-year-old man with Down syndrome to a hotel room and making him perform sexual acts. Gordon was charged and arrested in January, but says the allegations aren't true. Gordon has been a law enforcement officer in Colbert, Boswell, Garvin County, and Paoli. A former chief executive now asking for a reduction in his sentence. 49-year-old Doug Peelsticker pleaded guilty in 2015 of conspiracy and tax evasion. He was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison, but now he's asking for a federal judge to reduce his sentence. Federal prosecutors are opposing this request. In international news, Egypt's military is fighting back after a deadly massacre in an Egyptian mosque. Officials believe Islamic militants are to blame for that attack. It happened on Friday. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Amy Kellogg reports from Milan, Italy.
It is the deadliest attack by Islamic extremists in Egypt's modern history. More than 300 people killed in Friday's attack on a mosque in northern Sinai, including 27 children. This 13-year-old boy describing the terrifying moments after at least 24 gunmen stormed inside, tossing grenades and opening fire, creating a stampede among the 500 or so worshipers inside.
I found all of the people climbing on top of each other. They were trying to get out of the mosque because they were afraid, and I was trying to get out, and a bullet entered my leg.
Witnesses say the gunmen then checked victims lying on the ground, and if they were still breathing, they shot them in the head or chest. No group has claimed responsibility, but officials say the attackers were carrying an Islamic State flag. The mosque is frequented by Sufis, members of a mystic movement within Islam. Sufis have been targeted by the local Islamic State affiliate in the past. As the injured are being treated at local hospitals, funerals are already being held for some of the victims. Egypt's president declaring 3 days of mourning and promising a strong response. The military launching airstrikes on what it says are militant outposts connected to the deadly mosque attack. President Trump expressing his support for Egypt and renewing his call for tighter security in the United States, tweeting, "Need the wall, need the ban." In Milan, Italy, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
Happening today, Tokyo took its first steps for the 2020 Olympics, even though they're years away. The city held an official ceremony for the opening of its first permanent Olympic venue. The Musashino Forest Sports Plaza will host modern pentathlon, fencing, and badminton. 7 more permanent venues will be completed between March and December 2019. The games will also feature 23 existing venues and 8 temporary ones. The U.S. Navy released the names of the 3 lost sailors from that plane that crashed in the Philippine Sea. Brian Grosso, an airman apprentice and Florida native, is presumed dead, along with Louisiana native airman Matthew Chilastiri and Lieutenant Stephen Combs of Florida. The other 8 people on that plane were found alive. Between this weekend and Cyber Monday, a lot of people are going to be spending their money online, but be aware. Online holiday shopping is also prime time for scammers, and this is some advice for shoppers. Be careful shopping on a mobile browser. Scammers can create fake websites. Also, watch out for fake apps that steal personal information, and don't click on any unsolicited emails. Make sure that the website has a valid HTTPS, that S is important, on your connection. Homeland Security is talking about an increasing threat, but it's not firearms. Recreational drones. They may be fun for you and your family, but authorities say that they can cause major problems. Fox News correspondent Leah Gabrielli has more information on the calls for law enforcement and first responders to be given more authority to disarm these drones.
First responders tell Fox News most operators do follow the limited rules currently in place for flying drones, but they say the negligent are getting in their way, and those with malicious intent currently have an upper hand.
Some of these drones can fly anywhere from 1 to 15 pounds of explosives, which is a huge amount of explosives.
Sergeant Randy Sterrett is a bomb squad commander in California's Orange County, one of many places where UAVs or drones have become a dangerous nuisance to law enforcement and other first responders.
The drone was spotted in the fire burn area.
Just a single drone can do significant damage or even take one of our aircraft out of the air.
According to the Department of the Interior, last year there were over 40 reported drone incidents near wildfires. In 2015, California's North Fire torched nearly 24 vehicles on a major highway in San Bernardino County.
We had drone operations that had actually forced us to shut down all of our air operations. I don't believe we would have seen hardly any vehicles be damaged if we'd had the ability to bring in aircraft and redirect the fire.
First responders say they are only seeing an increase in dangerous incidents with drones, and they need a way to fight back, both in the interest of the public safety and their own. There are companies making technology to do just that.
That red light means I am now disrupting all of the drones that are in about a 30-degree arc in front of my unit.
IXI Technology recently demonstrated their so-called drone killer to first responders. It sends a radio signal on the same frequency as the drone's control device, causing most drones to go back where they took off from. If that doesn't work, the device can jam the drone's GPS signal and force it to land. The trouble is, federal regulations prohibit this type of countermeasure without special authorization.
There's been the SWAT operation going on and a UAV flying right into the front yard and watching as they're approaching the house, putting their safety and the safety of those in the community at risk.
Drones are an emerging technology, and as such, they're coming into a regulatory arena that's not yet fully developed.
Senator Mike Lee, along with other lawmakers, introduced a bipartisan bill that would give local governments the power to regulate in their own regions for drones flying below 200 feet.
It's so unfair that a citizen, a criminal or a terrorist can use UAV technology, but we cannot use technology against them.
Only 3 states have laws that allow first responders to disable drones, and even tracking down drone pilots who interfere with operations is difficult. That's because while manned aircraft are required to register with a tail number, small recreational drones currently have no such requirement. In New York, Leah Gabriel, Fox News.
So those Christmas decorations are going up, but the weather doesn't feel like it outside. A pattern we're going to keep seeing?
Yeah, we're actually just going to be going up for tomorrow. Today was kind of our cool day of the next couple, so get ready for it. Back up near 70 degrees tomorrow and then into the low 70s on Monday. But for tonight, it will feel a little bit more Christmassy, I guess, even though we still have about a month to go before Christmas. But 39 degrees makes it possible for a little bit of patchy frost here and there. Winds will switch around to the south as we go later into tonight, courtesy of high pressure, which is going to be drifting on down to the south and off to the east as we go through tonight. That high pressure system will keep our skies clear for tomorrow. So if you're getting up early to go for a run and be proactive at it, you might want to bundle up a little bit because it will be pretty chilly out there. Maybe just sleep in a little bit, then you'll be more rested. You can run faster and it'll be warmer. Everybody wins on that case. 66 by about 5 o'clock. Raking those leaves will be beautiful, or if you just want to drive on home and leave the leaves to your in-laws, it's going to be a beautiful way to drive on home. Steady winds, nice and clear. No issues for any of those drivers, at least weather-wise. Leaf raking forecast, there we go. Similar type of deal. We got to talk about that fire forecast. It's going to be going up. We got high fire danger. Details in a bit.
Right now would be a great time to download the Fox 25 Storm Watch weather app. You can get access to live radar and weather alerts right on your phone. It is available to download on the Apple and Google Play Store for free. Just search for KOKH Weather. Do you have a hard time focusing on the task you're doing? Can you guess what it takes for Americans as the average attention span? Coming up, how smartphones and social media are affecting our attention span and how long the average attention span lasts. In health news, a new study says light pollution is increasing on a global scale. The effect it can have on people is dangerous. As the number of LED streetlights are growing, so do those health risks. Their glare can affect your eyesight and the brightness can disrupt your sleep cycle. LED lights also make it more difficult to see stars at night. As a kid, you were probably told you need to eat your fruits and your veggies. Well, a new study suggests that more adults should be following their own advice. Only 1 in 10 adults are eating enough fruits and vegetables a day to meet federal recommendations. That's according to a new study published by the Center for Disease Controls and Prevention. Guidelines recommend that adults eat at least 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit and 2 to 3 cups of vegetables every day, depending on gender and age. Overall, the study finds that more women are meeting both fruit and vegetable recommendations compared to men. Young adults aged 18 to 30 are the group with the lowest number of individuals meeting those recommended guidelines. Here are some tips to help you increase your daily consumption of fruits and vegetables. Make food fun. Try new recipes and mix it up in the kitchen. Cooking a fruit or a vegetable in a different way can enhance the flavor. At work, make sure you have enough access to fruits and vegetables during meetings or events. And think about joining a community garden to increase your interest. Help reduce your risk of disease by consuming enough fruits and vegetables every day. Fox 25 has your back with an important reminder. We want to remind you that Medicare open enrollment will be ending next month. The opportunity to make changes ends December 7th. New research points to 60% of seniors being overwhelmed by the volume of the information about Medicare health insurance. It is easy to get overwhelmed since plans and premiums and networks can change every year. Make sure that you know what you need before you make any decisions. In our always connected world of smartphones and social media, it's becoming harder to stay focused. Microsoft's research shows that an average attention span is down to only 8 seconds, just slightly better than a goldfish. Luann Stoya has the 411 on how digital distraction can impact your family.
Mindy chooses the fast coffee machine as she prepares for her 4 kids to barrel through the door after school. The mom also pastors a church with her husband, so she has a lot of demand for her attention.
If I'm trying to clean and check emails and scroll Facebook and tend to the kids, I'm overwhelmed, they're frustrated, I'm frustrated.
Digital communication expert Deborah Jasper says she wants to help people at home and at work find a way to keep their relationships strong while using technology.
Yeah, we say we're a nation of skimmers and scanners because we have no choice. We are overwhelmed by the amount of information coming at us.
According to a Common Sense media study, 69% of parents and 78% of teens check their devices at least hourly.
For me as a mom, that's a challenge that I'm trying to overcome is, putting it away and focusing on the child in front of me and not on the screen.
With so many of us feeling the stress of having too much coming at us, we can take a cue from the professionals.
Look, you have 8 seconds to go. Everything you do has to be SOS, which means short, organized, and skimmable.
Jasper with Mindset Digital says the average person is exposed to at least 22 media ads an hour and gets at least 147 emails a day.
It is critical to be mindful, to say, okay, I'm going to give myself permission to step offline.
Mindy keeps a calendar to stay on task. Then her advice: be fully present wherever you are.
When it's date night, our cell phones are put away. When it's family night, devices are put away. And so we schedule our priorities so that we don't spend our whole lives being distracted.
Many companies are pulling their ads off of YouTube after a disturbing discovery. Companies like Deutsche Bank, Mars, and Adidas are pulling their commercials after they were shown on videos of young girls barely dressed. A YouTube spokesperson says the service forbids videos exploiting children and that they are working urgently to fix this issue. Malia Obama has been under fire this weekend after videos and pictures were shared of her private life. But a former and current first daughter came to her defense. Chelsea Clinton and Ivanka Trump took to Twitter defending Malia, both saying that she is a private citizen and should not be used as clickbait.
Well, we got a break from the fire weather for the last couple days, but tomorrow, and really tomorrow, we get a break from it as well. But high fire danger comes back on Monday and Tuesday. Then we get a break on Wednesday, and then it comes right on back on Thursdays. We are going to be seeing some pretty strong winds out for the next couple days or so. Tomorrow, very nice, sunny and warm, 68 degrees. Lots of sunshine, of course. Southwest winds about 10 to 20 miles an hour. That means it's going to be beautiful to walk your dog. Maybe take them to the dog park. Enjoy it. Cold morning, though. It's going to be really your only weather hazard. We'll talk about your full forecast plus a chance for rain coming up this week in your Storm Watch forecast.
Want to hang with Yoda or maybe cross over to the dark side? Coming up, the new pop-up bars that are hitting cities in the U.S. Plus, a terrifying moment when a pet turned on its owners and left 3 people in the hospital. That coming up later. Last year, Circa's Elizabeth Hagedorn spent election night in McDowell County, West Virginia. Residents there voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump in hopes that he'd bring back coal jobs to their community. Now she is back in McDowell to see if voters' minds have been changed 1 year later.
Just don't feel that anybody they put in office, it's promises, 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 and then when they get the job, they forget about the little people that voted them in. You know, a lot of people in McDowell County voted, and they got disappointed. because nothing's changed. You know, all these changes was promised to us, but yet none of them was helped. You know, the president needs to come to McDowell County and just look and see the poverty level here. It's a mess.
McDowell County, West Virginia, once exported more coal than any other county in the United States. Today, it's one of the poorest communities in the country. Unemployment is more than twice the national average. In 2008, McDowell voted heavily for President Obama. But 8 years later, it was part of the wave of blue-collar strongholds that turned out for Trump.
And for those miners, get ready because you're going to be working your asses off, all right? Thank you, everybody.
You voted for Trump last year. Are you pleased with that decision?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're coal miners, and anybody travels through this part of the country can see we don't have any other industry. We need to diversify, but you know, the older politicians didn't, so we're trying to do it now. And the only industry we have is coal. And it puts you kind of in a box where you have to vote for a way you make your living.
The president is popular in McDowell County, but he has his detractors. Alba Coleman, a Democrat and retired coal miner, is one of them. He didn't vote for Trump or Clinton.
Trump said, I can bring back the coal jobs, I will reopen the mines. Do you buy that?
I don't think he's done anything so far. Jobs have picked up here, but I don't really think it's not had anything to do specifically with anything that he's done. A lot of the people here say, you know, that he sounds just like us. He says the stuff that these people want to say. And the guy that in our meeting, he said, I feel like, you know, that he's just like us. And I told him, I said, you know, he's not just like us. He's a billionaire, and you know, we have to work every day for what we've got.
A year after Trump was elected president, there's still a glimmer of hope in McDowell that he can do for coal country what politicians have long promised.
You know, we're asking our elected officials to just take a look at us and help us. We're just so far behind. But we're going to keep trying. We're working hard on it.
For Circa, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn.
For an extended version of this story, you can visit circa.com. Well, it is Christmas time, and that often means time to decorate, but there may be a setback getting what you need. Coming up, a damper to the holiday season, why you may have a more difficult time finding the right Christmas tree this year.
And it's going to be clear and cool for tonight, and some may even wake up to frost by tomorrow morning, but rain is in the forecast. When it'll come to Oklahoma, coming up in your Storm Watch forecast.
In political news, hours after the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to name his own successor, the president intervened by appointing his budget director. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports.
There is only one head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, usually. But now two people are claiming the title. One has helped run the Bureau for years. The other one has called it a sick, sad joke. Richard Cordray was the head of the Bureau until Friday when he quit and named his chief of staff, Leandra English, as the acting director. The Dodd-Frank Act that created the agency says that's the proper procedure. Cordray has gotten billions of dollars in settlements from financial services companies for various wrongdoings. That's made him a hero of some watchdog groups and a major target of Republicans in the banking industry who say he has completely overstepped his mandate. English, his hand-picked successor, would likely follow his lead. Now this is who President Trump has named as the acting director, effective as of midnight Friday night. Mick Mulvaney, who will also keep his job as the White House budget director. Mulvaney is the one who called the Bureau a joke. In a conference call, the White House said Mulvaney would take a common-sense approach to leading the staff until President Trump can nominate a permanent director who would then be confirmed by the Senate in the upcoming weeks. The Federal Vacancies Act gives the president the right to do the appointment this way, the opposite of how it's laid out in Dodd-Frank. So we could be looking at a legal battle here. Whichever way this shakes out could have massive implications for consumers and the financial industry. If you have a credit card, student loan, mortgage, or any debt to almost anyone, then you'll be affected. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions visited El Paso, Texas to pay tribute to a fallen Border Patrol agent. 36-year-old Rogelio Martinez died of injuries that he got during an ambush while patrolling near the U.S.-Mexico border. Sessions joined other law enforcement officials for today's memorial for Martinez. The governor of Texas has approved a reward of up to $20,000 for information leading up to the arrests in this case. It looks like President Trump will not be Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2017. The president said on Twitter Friday that he turned down a potential offer of the title. In his tweet, Trump posted the magazine told him he would probably be given the honors. He says that he passed on the idea. The magazine, however, refuted Trump's claims by saying the president was incorrect on how Time chooses its Person of the Year, but that they won't comment on the choice until publication. If you are celebrating with the famous evergreen, get it soon. A tree shortage is affecting the entire country this holiday season. Fox 25's Jennifer Kendall has the details.
Do y'all need any help?
Let's get this. These are soft. 1,000 miles away from where they sprouted.
That one, and that one.
We have farms in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina.
These pine trees are ready to be the star of the show come Christmas time.
Not farm to table, but farm to living room.
Some customers have a plan in place to give each tree a fair shake.
Will they hold up ornaments?
We always come the day after Thanksgiving, and we always come to Papa Noel.
But this year, the pickings could be a bit more scarce.
I've seen it, the selection is not what it used to be.
But you can't put any presents under here.
The shortage stems from a lack of planting during the recession.
3, 2, 1.
When many farmers were forced out of business.
So with trees not going in the ground in 2008 and 2009, all of a sudden now, 10 years later, we don't have trees.
Well, this is the first year customers will notice less options in their neck of the woods.
People are hearing about this shortage. I think it's going viral.
It could be 4 or 5 more years before the Christmas tree supply meets current demand.
Bear in mind that a Christmas tree takes 10 to 13 years to grow.
As the number of trees making the cut each year shrinks, customers should expect to see a difference on price tags too.
$200.
Well, wholesale prices from the Pacific Northwest have gone up 50%.
For those worried about St. Nick's favorite spot to leave presents,
Because if the tree wasn't there, then where would he put them?
or anyone who could be left pining for a real live Christmas tree,
It's got my name on it.
the best advice is to start tree shopping early.
So Austin's going to run out of real Christmas trees. So just don't wait till the last minute.
Because the sooner you're out of the woods, the more time you can spend focused on what matters most.
Fox 25 meteorologist Carlo Falco has your back with tonight's forecast, and you said that some rain may be coming our way.
Yeah, we are looking at a possibility for some chances for rain, but the models have definitely not locked onto it, so it's not a sure thing just yet, but we definitely do need that rain. We only got 7/100ths of an inch of rain for the entire month, which puts us, as of yet, at the 10th driest month of November in
Not great
history.
news.
No, we definitely need a lot more rain, or any rain really, to help out. Not going to get it tonight. Clear skies in downtown Oklahoma City, and we're going to be pretty chilly for tonight. Low temperature right around 39 degrees. Again, clear skies, frost possible, especially outside of Oklahoma City. 39 at 6 a.m. Lots more clear skies. Frosty possible, again, outside of Oklahoma City. Southwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. This is where we're expecting that frost, mostly up to the north, up towards Alva, and up to the northeast in Bartlesville. But out towards Enid, Watonga, and Clinton, you could wake up to a little bit of frost on your windshield or maybe on your grass as well. By 10 a.m., clear skies, no chance for any frost. It's going to warm up pretty quickly. South winds really helping out. So by about noon, near 60, nice and warm. That sunshine feeling amazing. By 5 o'clock, still clear and sunny. Nearly perfect temperatures coming down from our high temperature of 68 degrees. So Sunday morning service looking very pleasant for you. Maybe a sweatshirt or light jacket in the morning if you're going right around 8 a.m. But by noon into the afternoon hours, yeah, you won't need anything like that. Hour by hour forecast, we're into the 60s by about 4 o'clock, and then 6 p.m. Yeah, we're back into the mid 60s, falling down into the low 60s by about 8 o'clock. So dare I say it, end of November. A good day to go fishing. Don't have to put away that boat just yet. Chop may be an issue, especially if you're going to be fishing on any of those larger lakes, but we don't have any chance for any rain, at least for the next couple days. Shot for some rain coming in for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It's only a 20% chance as high pressure dominates for the next couple days. That's going to keep us nice and warm for tomorrow. Keeps most of those clouds away on Monday, and the winds come in on the back end of that high pressure system as it departs out to the east. This cold front pushes in on Tuesday. That's going to make the wind really kick up, and then we have a chance for some of those rain showers. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and it really is kind of waffling on things. The latest models have really decreased the chances for rain showers Tuesday night into Wednesday. Temperatures in the 50s late next week.
When I tell you about a toothpick, you might think that you have something in your teeth. Well, one guy thought of something very different. Coming up, see how a man built an impressive structure using toothpicks.
Hello, I'm Mark Hyman. Recent hurricane-related floods highlight needed reforms in Washington. Here's what's happening behind the headlines. FEMA provides disaster assistance, including money, to a homeowner following a flood, but payments are capped. The National Flood Insurance Program offers government-backed insurance in flood-prone communities, provided plans to reduce or mitigate against flood damage are in place. The NFIP identifies communities at higher risk of flooding. In about the last 40 years, the program's paid more than $50 billion to settle insurance claims. Unfortunately, the program is not financially self-sustaining. Premium rates do not reflect the full risk loss. The program's borrowed $25 billion from the U.S. Treasury, and next month it will expire if not reauthorized. The GAO identified program shortfalls that should be addressed, such as debt relief, premium affordability, the private insurance market, and consumer participation. The House passed legislation that includes needed changes, including disclosure of a property's history and risk of flooding, encouraging private insurance participation, improved flood mitigation policies, and financially sound premiums. Also, multiple loss properties that have received a disproportionate share of claims payments over time should be charged higher premiums. The Senate should add an improved flood risk mitigation provision. According to the Pew Charitable Trust, every dollar spent on mitigation saves $4 in future losses. To comment, go to behindtheheadlines.net. I'm Mark Hyman.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Tonight, the Force can be with you for a limited time only. Star Wars-themed pop-up bars are opening in 3 major cities. One of the theme bars in the Big Apple, the Dark Side Bar, features Star Wars-inspired drinks and entertainment. Visitors can also enjoy alien speed dating, why not? A live DJ and games. The bars are open in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles, and patrons are encouraged to dress in costume.
This is supposed to be like the bar that would be in the basement of the Death Star.
If you are planning on traveling to one of these pop-up bars, they will be open until January 14th, 2018. 3 women are rushed to the hospital after one of their own pets attacked them. A pregnant woman stabbed one of her family's pit bulls to death after it turned on its owners. The owners were trying to break up a dog fight between their 3 dogs when one of them turned on the people. Authorities say that the family kept the pit bull who attacked them in a separate room because he could be aggressive around other dogs. Somehow, he got out.
I just heard screams for help, loud screams for help. I wanted to go down there, see if I could call 911, what was going on. And as soon as I started to go down the street, they said, you know, get away, get away. It sounded like she said the dog's loose and would attack.
Authorities say all 3 women suffered non-life-threatening injuries and they are expected to be okay. Attention to detail is nothing new for one Minnesota artist. His passion in creating replicas of buildings out of toothpicks. And his latest creation is the Minnesota Vikings football stadium. Fox's Murray Glover gives us a look.
Over the years, Greg Kelly has built small-scale replicas of everything from the grand staircase on the Titanic to the movie theater featured in Singing in the Rain. But his latest masterpiece is a miniature version of the new home of the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm just totally overwhelmed and very thankful that I accomplished this project.
Kelly owned a hobby shop in Southern California for 43 years. But when he moved to Minnesota, he was so taken with the Vikings' new stadium, he decided to build a model of it made entirely out of toothpicks.
I had never done a toothpick model before. I've seen pictures of them and stuff. And so this was my first ever attempt.
It took him 7 months, 6,000 toothpicks, and endless hours of painstaking work to build the mini local landmark that is 3 feet wide, 4 feet long, and 1.5 feet tall.
All the different intense angles that are involved with it, and to get it in proper scale, proportion, was very challenging to do.
The replica includes intricate details like the giant glass doors at the main entrance and the Vikings logo on the marquee. And even though Kelly never met him, inside the stadium you can make out the name of Jeremy Gruber backwards, the roofer who fell from the roof and died during construction.
You have to get emotional about your work. You know, if you don't have a work. It's not art. So you have to have something to identify, someone to identify with. You know, like his spirit was with me, you know, getting this accomplished.
Kelly hopes the Vikings put his model on display during the upcoming Super Bowl next year. And if the hometown team happens to be playing in the big game, Kelly says it's about time their ship finally comes in.
It's just such an incredible story about the Vikings and the stadium, you know, that all this is all starting to come together.
Well, back here tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty nice. It will be a little on the chilly side, especially if you get a tea time right around 8 a.m. But by the afternoon hours, you may have to deal with a little bit of wind, but lots of sunshine and definitely beautiful for you. If you're going out, going skating, Devon Ice Rink is open from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. and it will be absolutely gorgeous. Definitely will not feel like skating weather, even though you can go ice skating outside for tomorrow. High temperature 68 degrees, lots of sunshine. Southwest winds about 10 to 20 miles an hour. 7-day forecast looking pretty good. We warm up Monday, but rain is possible Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Russell Westbrook had a big night tonight in Dallas, but was it enough to get them a road win? While in football, Baker Mayfield seemed as giddy and upbeat as ever as the Sooners took on West Virginia. We'll hear from Mayfield and the rest of the day's sports news next in the Sports Wrap. Thunder in Dallas tonight, and it was Russell Westbrook's offensive show the first half. First with the 3 ball, then followed by a hard charge to the basket that produces points and lands him in the lap of a photographer. He had 13 first quarter points, 28 for the game, along with 12 boards, 9 assists, but no one else in the starting 5 attempted a free throw. That tells you something. Meanwhile, the Mavericks got a little from everybody, including rookie guard Dennis Smith Jr., who had 15 points. Harrison Barnes, too, as Dallas led by 15 at the half, led by as many as 23. Mavs beat the Thunder 97-81. Hello, everybody. Today was the final day of the regular season in college football. Next weekend is conference title game, so a lot still on the line after today, but today was senior day for many programs, including Oklahoma, who hosted West Virginia. Now, Sooners senior Baker Mayfield didn't start after last weekend's incident at Kansas. Kyler Murray got the start at quarterback, and on the game's first play, he showed the offense was in good hands as he ripped off this run that covered 66 yards. He was finally tackled at the 4, with Mayfield giving him plenty of positive support from the sidelines. The 2-play drive finished off by Rodney Anderson, who scored 4 touchdowns, rushed for 118 yards in the game. Mayfield, he will resume his quarterback role in the second series. He finished today with 281 yards passing. That TD toss to Mark Andrews, one of his 3 touchdown passes. Sooners have 646 yards of offense, with Mayfield being the key. Sam Gannon has more.
The day didn't begin the way Baker Mayfield wanted. He wasn't named a captain and didn't start due to the incident that occurred last week at Kansas. But on his final game here at Owen Field, it ended exactly the way he wanted, with the Sooners' victory and one last victory lap to go along with it.
Your first steps on the field kind of made all that go away. You know, having the support of them made me realize I just need to settle in and go do my job. And so it's more of a relieving feeling for me, knowing that they're always going to have my back, and it's okay for me to grow and learn and move on. You know, if I'm progressing and becoming a better man in front of their eyes, that's, you know, something I'm proud of. I'm proud to show that I can learn from my mistakes and move forward.
Oh, well, what do you think about the way he was able to handle all the emotions, considering the, you know, being his final game here, everything that's happened? Just what did you think about the way he was able to kind of keep his composure?
Just a great player, you know. He never lets his emotions really get to him, and if they do, like, he's using them to beat you, like, you know. So I feel like Baker handled it just fine. He went out there when it was his time. He went and lit it up like he always does.
He played his heart out, and it's awesome to see him come out here and, you know, have the performance he did today on his last time at Owen Field. It's a special moment for him, and you know, his career has been, you know, just insane.
I was proud of him. I thought he held it in check because he was definitely emotional, you know, before, and I know a lot of thoughts certainly running through his head during, and so for him to play the way he did was, you know, considering all the circumstances, was, again, it's one of the guys the best.
So, Myra, now we can finally look ahead. 1 week from today, the Oklahoma Sooners will face off against TCU in the Big 12 title game in Arlington, Texas, and you can see it only here on Fox 25. Reporting here from Norman, Sam Gannon, Fox 25 Sports.
All right, let's check on the OSU Cowboys, who hosted Kansas today. A week after this morning home loss to Kansas State, Mason Rudolph from the Pokes bounced back to dominate Kansas. Marcel Aitman went over a 1,000-yard receiving mark on the season, joining James Washington in that category. That catch leading to the first of Rudolph's 2 rushing touchdowns. Rudolph had recorded 38 yards through the air, a couple TD passes, with James Washington hauling in one of those. As for Washington, he now has 1,423 receiving yards on the season. Cowboys win in blowout fashion to finish the regular season 9-3, and a bowl game still to come.
I was proud of our team today. It was a great accomplishment, great day for the seniors. First time ever, the 4,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, and 2,000-yard receivers on the same team. So pretty special with all those guys. Played about as good as we could play.
Biggest upset today had Auburn beating Alabama 26-14 to hand the Tide its first loss. The playoff poll comes out Tuesday. Expect OU to move up to at least second place. High school football playoffs. 4A semifinals had Heritage Hall facing Blanchard. That's Billy Ross Jr. picking up yards for the Chargers, who are ranked #1 in 4A. They go to the air next with quarterback Blake Adams rolling out, finding his 6'4" tight end Carson Orton for the score. Heritage Hall won it 37-7. They'll face Ada next week. They beat Blanchard, Bethany in the semifinals 26-22.